Okay, this is a breakdown of Great Paws truck. See it barely in my shed right now. A couple of things that I had to do right off the bat was, as you can see, the battery that was in here had a hole in it, and I can only assume that the acid washed out from the battery and created a big hole where it used to sit. But this seems to be okay, pretty solid, kind of, but it's kind of dangling. You can see that. This over here seems pretty solid, but I'll probably have to get a inside fender patch for that. So that'll be something I'll need to do. Second thing is to make sure that the motor is free, which to do that I'll have to put a 15/16 socket on the crankshaft pulley and see if it turns. If it does, then we're in business. So pause here for a second while I get the wrench. Okay, so I have the wrench on there, and now we'll see if she cranks. And as you can see, she's cranking pretty good. It's pretty free. So that's good. Motor's free. That's awesome. Okay, the next thing was check the spark plugs and see if I could get the spark plugs out. Because if the spark plugs are stuck in there and I snap one off, then I have to take all this off to get to the head, to take the head out, to get the plugs out. But thankfully, as you can kind of see, they broke loose. They broke free, and I took the spark plugs off to right here, some of them. And I was able to break all 8 of those loose, so that's good. I then put automatic transmission fluid down each cylinder and cycled it 3 or 4 times to keep the piston and cylinder walls and everything lubed up, so if I had to, I could let it sit all winter. Which, it's 40 degrees out today in the next 4 or 5 days, so I'm going to try and work on it the best I can. The next thing was the carburetor. As you can see, the carburetor is off because it was froze stuck. I was able to soak this bad boy in Pine Sol and water, and which you can't see, which is kind of hard. The butterflies are closed, and now they're open. You can barely see it, but I'll turn it over. There's the butterflies right there. And those were froze stuck. Couldn't move it. So now, as you can see, I can move it without dropping it. So they go a lot further than that. But there, it's unfroze, and the choke, which is right there, was froze as well, but that's all unfrozen. So I went ahead and rebuilt the carburetor. Got that done. So now I just got to put the carburetor back on, and that way if I have to leave it sit for winter again, I can cover it with something, and at least nothing will get inside the intake manifold. So got my gasket here. Just goes on just like that. This is the choke cable. That's free, obviously, because the choke is free. So once that's on, I guess I'll flip it around. It might sit down there better. And you can see that I am kind of missing one, but that is right there. The whole bolt came off. So now I'll go ahead and put the carburetor back on, making sure not to pinch anything. Check. Make sure that it's on there. That looks pretty good. So go ahead now and start in my bolts. And then try and keep these short and sweet so I can upload them. I don't have any problems. Okay, one more. Alright, those are finger tight right now. I'll tighten those down in a second. It's hard to do one-handed, holding. Well, anyway. So, the next thing is to take the thermostat out, the old thermostat, and cycle the motor a few times, see if I can get some of that gunk out. It's a little bit brittle too. I'm gonna have to get a new one of those someday, maybe a swap sheet. But anyway, take the thermostat out, replace it with the new one, which I have. Cycle the coolant out of it, and see if I can make sure there isn't any impurities or anything back into the motor. Oh, there we go. And there you can see there is some coolant in there, so which is good, which means there's no holes in the radiator and no holes in the lines. So that's good. So after I get that done and flushed out, the next thing will be to check fuel pump. See if the fuel pump is pumping. And there's a fuel pump right there. I don't know much about the fuel pump. It doesn't look too bad, but then again it might be. And I'll have to trace the fuel lines back and rig up some sort of way to get fuel to it, to get to the carburetor, so I can see if she'll start. So that's where I'm at right now. Gears are free. Transmission seems to be good. I'll show you that in a second here. Oh. Alright, so here's the clutch pedal. Clutch is free, which is great. Brakes go all the way to the floor, which is not surprising, they're probably froze. And the accelerator pedal will work once I hook up the carburetor. So there's gear shift, we're in neutral. There's first. I think that's second. Yeah, there's second. Third. Fourth. And it was going into reverse, but now it's not. Well, anyway, it was going in. So there's 1, 2. First. Second. Third. Fourth. And over and down there. Reverse. So I've got a clutch and I've got a working transmission so far. Just gotta be careful you don't bust your knuckles. There it goes. Alright. Okay, that's it for today. I'm gonna do a little bit more here. Get that carburetor tightened up.